Today I am going to be showing you how to make a pair of ears inspired by 2319. So first you're going to want to grab some cardboard and you're going to need a template. So I actually downloaded this from Dream It DIY. I will link it below. She has an awesome template for ear making. And I printed that out and cut it. So that is my template. Or you could trace an already made pair of ears that you bought and just make a template of that. But you do need a template. Trace it out with a marker or pen. I would suggest a marker because it's easier. And you're going to trace it onto a piece of cardboard, and I just used an old dog food box, so just whatever you have laying around. So these are very inexpensive DIY, so I highly recommend you try it. It's pretty fun. So you're gonna want to do that 4 times. So you're going to want to do that 4 times. So you're going to want to do that 4 times. Okay, so next we are going to be using this fabric that I got. I actually got this from AliExpress, so it was insanely cheap. And as soon as I saw it, I thought of my favorite, well, one of my favorite movies, Monsters Inc. and the 2319 scene. So I had to get this pattern because I love that art. And I will link it down below if I can find the link. So I only got a small little bit, so I have to be very careful when placing the cardboard cutouts on it because I want to be able to have enough to make the pair of ears without running out. You're going to want to put all 4 on the fabric and make sure that there is space around the ears so you can fold the fabric in like this. So you have to make sure that there is fabric around it to spare. Put these on and then roughly with my Sharpie mark where I need to cut. So right here. Marks. We can cut out the fabric. And we are cutting it into 4 pieces. And there is a template on the video I will link below to measure your fabric for it, but I prefer to do this because I feel like it wastes some fabric and I don't really want to waste it. I don't have that much here, so I just wing it and hopefully it works, but okay. So now that we have that cut out, we're going to want to just kind of round the edges of all of them and measure it and make sure that you don't cut too much off, but just round the edges of the 4 cut pieces of fabric. When you are done cutting the fabric, it should look like this. But if you use the template, it will give you more fabric. So if you have more fabric to work with, I definitely recommend doing that. So at this point, you're going to want your glue gun to be plugged in because you're going to need this. And now you're going to take your cutouts and place them. Well, first place the fabric with the good side facing down, and then put your template on top. Next, so you're going to want to glue all the way around, but leaving this area untouched. So glue everywhere around, like this. And then fold over the material. And so that is how you do, well, I kind of missed this part, so I'm going to glue this down. But that is how you do the fabric on the cardboard. And you want to make sure you leave this part open so you can stuff it. So you're going to do that to all 4 of them. If you're just starting out, I would definitely recommend using the template that is linked in the video below. So once you have all 4 of these done, you're going to want to get some stuffing. So I personally buy a very cheap pillow from Walmart. It's like $3.97. You get a whole big pillow worth of stuffing, and I find that cheaper than buying just stuffing in the sewing section. So that's what I do. I cut the pillow open and use that stuffing for my ears. You want all the ears to roughly be the same amount. You don't want like a really puffy one and a really thin one. That wouldn't look very good. So just try and make them consistent. I didn't have much fabric here, so I can't really stuff much in here. So this is a lot less than I would normally use, but I should have got more fabric, and that's my fault. And so you're gonna wanna glue the end on it like this after you stuff it, just to close it up. So when you are done, it will look like this. It'd be puffy. And you can cut anything that is the excess off of it. So the fabric that doesn't need to be there, it's just in the way, so why not cut it off? So that is the first one. So you're gonna wanna do that to all 4 of them. all four sides of the ears. Done. Okay, so you're going to want to take two of them, and essentially you are going to glue around the edges and glue them together. So I will show you how to do that. So I just take some hot glue and put it on one side, and you match it up with the other one. And you just press. This is the most tedious part. You have to press and make sure it's glued down. Sometimes it doesn't want to stay and it's very annoying, but just do it. And then next I glue the other end of it together, so it basically puts it in the place it needs to be for the rest of the gluing. And then you're gonna hold that until it is dry. And when you think that's dry enough, you're going to want to glue all around here and then just basically hold it together. So I glued some in there, and now I'm going to hold it together until I think it is dry. And then you're just going to want to continue gluing around it until it's all glued together. So this process can take quite a while, so I will fast forward a little bit. Okay, so now I have both ears basically finished, except for the trim, of course. And so now we are going to go get a trim. I got this big thing of sequin trim, what's decorative rhinestone mesh from my dollar store, and I'm just going to cut a line of these to use as my trim. I do want to make them a little bit glitzy because I like glitzy. And you're going to measure how much you're going to need around the ear. This ear is a little bit too open, I think, so I'm going to try and glue it together some more. I start by gluing the end of the trim on the end of the ear, just to secure it. And this trim is not very easy to work with, so I'm going to have to take my time because these little things like to tip over for some reason. And then you're basically going to glue all around this and glue the trim. So it's basically covering all of this, but not the bottom. So once you get to the end, you're going to want to cut off the excess if there is any. And this is what the ear will look like. Basic on front and back, but the side will have the trim. So that's basically to hide any of the hot glue that's on the edges. So you're going to do that to the second one now. Basic on front and back, but the side will have the trim. So that's basically to hide any of the hot glue that's on the edges. So you're gonna do that to the second one now. So I got a pack of, I think, 25 headbands from Amazon. And they are 1 inch. I recommend 1 inch because it works the best for this. You don't want like a really big headband or too small. You want about 1 inch. So I found the yellow one. That's as close as I'm gonna get to the colors. And you could cover this, and I probably will show you how I cover them in a future video. But since I had no more of this fabric left, I decided just to leave it with the yellow. So now you're going to want to glue this part of your ear, and then you're going to glue it to the headband. So you gotta make sure that you do it quite quickly because you don't want the glue to dry. And I just eyeball it, but again, the link for the video I will be leaving down below will show you, the link for the video down below will have a link on that video that has a spacing template for actually placing the ears on the headband. So once you place it, you're gonna have to hold it very tight and put pressure like this and just hold it for as long as you think you need to. It should dry fairly quickly if it's hot glue. So that is essentially the ears made, and you can add all the extras now, but I believe I will stop here because I don't know what else to put on this. So this is what the ears look like. I think they look pretty cool, pretty true to the original shape of mouse ears. And I didn't put a bow because like it's George Sanderson, I believe, and I don't think he would wear a bow. So I didn't put a bow here, but if I can find some like fake hair, preferably orange, I would maybe glue it here. And I definitely should put the numbers 2319 on the back or the front or something, but this is just a basic ear tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed. And I plan on making some more detailed ears or just like different varieties of ears in the future. So if you really enjoyed this video, learned something, then if you could share it, that'd be great. And if you would like more, just let me know in the comments. And thank you guys so much for watching. Sail